was about to lose. Now I don't know how soon, but Salah, is it Mohamed Salah?
Mohamed Salah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Mohamed Salah. Uh, Now I don't know how soon that would be, but I think people already calling time on his contract there. I think he wants a better contract, and he's not. It
Yeah,
does seem to be getting it, and
I've not seen anything that says he's going. I mean,
all
maybe I've
right,
not.
yeah. I was looking
No,
at the
perhaps I've missed it.
yeah, I was looking at the I think it was the Liverpool Echo sports section. And I was reading up about that. Right, okay, so Lee Carsley,
Yeah,
what's your opinion? He's replaced Southgate. So
Gareth.
Gary Southgate,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, temporarily always a stand-in, but the chances are, like Southgate did, he was a stand-in. The chances are this chap will get the job. I imagine if he does, I don't know if he does reasonably well, gets a couple of results. I see he's picking players, one or two I've not even heard of, which doesn't necessarily mean much, but yeah, it's early days. I don't really know much about Lee Carsley. His name, when it came up originally, was a surprise to me because I thought maybe they would go for somebody with a bit more fame, I suppose, in football. People knew them a bit better than we do. So I don't know much about him, but yeah, we got to see how he plays with the team. I mean, I think this coming weekend is an international weekend, isn't it? So there
yeah,
presumably a couple of games going to be on. So we'll see more of what his team selection is like and what his tactics are. So we can make some sort of initial comment on what we think of him. What
yeah.
about you? What do you think of him? Do you know him at all?
I don't, I don't know the guy, and I don't know how. I don't
No.
know, and I've not really looked into, his background football wise, So I'm a bit on the fence, just like
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
as to whether he'll deliver or not. We just have to see how his first game goes.
Yeah.
And the selection, I think, I think he's got a good squad actually, because I read something about Phil Foden. Um, what's the other guy's name? So Phil Foden, Ollie Watkins, Cole Palmer. So that's the ones that I know so far.
Yeah.
I don't know about any other ones at the moment. So Manchester United, Trevor, do you think Ten Hag will? Do you think there's discussions about? I said it.
Yeah. It's very hard. It's very hard to know, isn't it? Because I was quite pleased. I quite like the bloke. I think he should be given more time. I think the Man United owners gave him a confidence boost after the defeat against Liverpool the other day. But then that can sometimes, a positive, confident word of backing from the board can sometimes be the kiss of death. You find a week or two later
Yeah,
they sack them. But
yeah,
I get the feeling that he's going to be given most of this season or all of this season, provided they don't go on a bad run of defeats. I mean, if they were to lose, three or four in succession, then he'll be finished, undoubtedly, probably like many other Premier League managers. But yeah, it's a difficult one. Man United are not, they're not the Man United that we've known for quite a long time. I know they've had a few down times, but last season they still finished fairly high, didn't they? They
yeah.
finished up there. Was it sixth or fifth, something like that? They still finished fairly high, didn't they? They
Yeah.
finished up there. Was it sixth or fifth, something like that. Which I suppose we still felt for them wasn't a successful season. But they've not started overly well this time. And I don't know, I've got nothing against Maguire at the back. I think he's past his best days, I have to say. And in a way, I'm surprised he's been sort of brought back as a first team choice. But they don't seem to have a settled team. I mean, Casemiro is coming in for a lot of flack, particularly in his game the other day, and some of the pundits are sort of roasting him, which may or may not be a bit unfair, it seems to me, but they're just not playing as a team like they can. Rashford is another one. I mean, I think 2 or 3 years ago he was a very good player, but I think again lately he doesn't seem to be the Rashford of old. I mean, he was not included in the Euros finally, was he? He didn't play there. So I think it is because he and some of the other players there are just not doing the business.
Mm,
So it's going to be interesting to see what their next few results are. Because, as I say, if they were to lose them, then probably Ten Hag will be sacked. But if he maintains some victories and gets the team gelling together, then I guess he'll be okay. But again, the expectation from fans and owners of Man U will be that they finish in the Champions League places. It's got
yeah,
to be for a team that big, really, isn't it? Probably the most or one of the most famous teams in the world
it
in
is.
terms of followers around the world. Obviously, there's
Yeah,
Barcelona and Real Madrid, but Man U are up there with them. So if they're having basically a couple of average seasons, that kind of detracts from their their status.
mm,
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I hope he does all right though. I think he'll be okay, provided, as I say, he doesn't go on a run of defeats.
yeah. Um, hang on. What's the recording? Ah, okay, so it's still recording. Yeah. Yeah, I was just checking if it's still recording. But it is, yeah. So we're good. Um, I think the other one that I was looking at was Leicester City. Leicester City,
Yeah.
they seem to have gotten away with points deduction. Do you know about that? I mean, I
Yeah, I
haven't.
do.
Yeah.
I was listening to Talk Sport Radio this morning when I was in the car. And in a sense, I think they've got away on a technicality because they probably expected to get points deducted. But it goes back, I think it goes back to 1920, around 2020, not 100 years ago, 2020. And it
Yeah.
seems that basically the rules, these financial fair play rules, Leicester's barrister said that they were very badly drawn. And indeed, I think that
Uh,
was agreed with by the Premier League's barrister as well, though they weren't particularly well drawn up. But anyway, it seems to me they got off because they got relegated anyway in that season, which you may say, well, so what? It doesn't alter what they presumably did financially, but they got relegated. And also, there was some issue with the dating of their annual accounts,
all
which
right.
obviously has to do with the problems that they had or the rules that they broke.
Yeah.
So, but because their book not bookmakers, because their accountants produced the accounts at a certain time,
Yeah.
somehow that together with the poor drafting of the rule and their relegation conspired the three things that the league had to sort of say, fair enough, you're not going to be punished because there's ambiguity in the rule, which your relegation, etc., means we can't fairly punish you for what happened. So it sounds a bit complicated, and it was a bit complicated listening to it on the radio, as I say, but they've got away with it. And it seems to me what comes out of it is these financial fair play rules are not clearly written. There's ambiguity